Hey gang, back today to talk about the Screen Actors Guild nominations that are coming out in T-minus 9 hours probably by the time I get this released. I wanted to make sure I got this out there, so I am filming this the night of January 7th, and the nominations will be tomorrow morning, Wednesday, at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm excited for the Screen Actors Guild nominations. One, because we're now post, a couple days from the Golden Globes. Oscar voting will start taking place here very soon. And I love how the nominations are tomorrow morning, but the ceremony actually will not be until February 23rd. So lots of time for me to change my mind, but I wanted to give you my nominations and my predictions. I'm actually going to give you my top 8 in all of the categories, just so we can kind of see where I change my mind maybe over the next, what is that, 7 weeks-ish, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I won't change my mind. Maybe I will. Before we dig into the categories, I wanted to provide a little background on who votes for the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Who is SAG? And again, from the very beginning I've said, this channel is for cinephiles and for movie novices. I want everybody to enjoy it. Plus, my ADHD, I was a little bit curious because honestly, back in the day when I would watch the Oscars or watch some of these awards, I never really knew how they fit in or where there's overlap or who's better at predicting things. So I'm kind of starting to dig into that now. Well, it also helps my ADHD. So I wanted to look it up. And because, when I have knowledge, I want to share that knowledge with you guys. So here's your drop of knowledge for today. So how the SAG voting works is you've got all of the members of the Screen Actors Guild Award, everybody who is paid up and active, which is somewhere around 125,000 to 139,000 people. All of these members who are active and paid and haven't been on a voting committee in the last 8 years basically get kind of thrown into a pot. I think of it like when my family has beanbag tournaments or something and you throw everybody's name in a hat and then draw. Well, that's kind of what happens here. And they draw 2 committees of 2,500 people each. I believe it's one for film and one for television. Those 2,500 people are going to pick the 5 nominees in each category. Then once you've got the nominees, as long as you're active and paid up member, that 125,000 to 139,000 people get to vote in each category. That is a astronomical number. I mean, if you think about it, Golden Globes are determined by 335 people. Critics' Choice is somewhere between 550 and 600. And I will be releasing my Critics' Choice predictions here before the ceremony on Sunday. So please make sure to like and subscribe and click the little bell so you get notifications when I drop that video. But I mean, this is a large population that will determine the winner. But first we've got to get down to the nominees. So let's break it down. We've got 6 categories, and I'm going to start with one that is very specific and only done at SAG, and that is Outstanding Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture. I'll provide you guys the whole list of my 8 nominees, and I'm going to put them in order for you just right away, and then we can kind of talk about it, because some of these may end up changing, but who I currently have at number 1 is who I'm predicting to win, and that is Wicked. And I know that that is different than maybe what other critics are saying, because there are a lot of people out there who are saying that for Stunt Ensemble, Dune Part 2, which I don't even know, is it called Dune Part 2 or is it just Dune 2? Whatever it is, you know the movie I'm talking about. The reason I think Dune Part 2, or whatever we're calling it, isn't going to win in this category isn't because I don't think that the stunts are well done. I wholeheartedly believe that they are amazing. And as I've said in my previous videos, it's better to me than Dune Part 1. But if you listen to my uncle, how can you say Dune Part 2 is better than Dune Part 1? Because you wouldn't be able to watch Dune Part 2 without Dune Part 1. So, I mean, I guess he's kind of right. But at the end of the day, they have to be called Part 1 and 2 because the original 1984 Dune with the amazing Kyle MacLachlan, directed by the most amazing David Lynch, which, shout out to Twin Peaks, by the way. Come on, guys. Do we love Twin Peaks? TV series and movie? You know we do, but I digress. I would like to know, though, what are your comments about what we're calling the Dunes and how all those rank in your guys' mind? But Dune Part 1 was nominated in the Stunt Ensemble category back in 2022, and it didn't win. Now, granted, it had some stiff competition, right? It had No Time to Die, which was the winner. It had Matrix Resurrect. It had Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and Black Widow. So it had some stiff competition. It lost to a James Bond film. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, really. Like, you lost to James Bond. But I just think when you compare the rest of my list on there, and especially my winner with Wicked, I just think the voters in SAG will look at everything that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and Jonathan Bailey and all of them had to do in that film with, flying on the broom and going up the watchtower. A lot of that stuff that I talked about in my Wicked review, which if you haven't seen it, I'll link it here in the video so you can watch it anytime. But I mean, the stunts in Wicked are amazing. And I just think, you know what? If Dune Part 1 couldn't win, I don't think the stunts are that much better in Dune Part 2. I've got to give the win to Wicked. Coming in at number 3, though, I do have The Fall Guy, which is entirely a movie about, stunt people. If you have not seen the Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt Saturday Night Live opening when they were on for The Fall Guy, literally the funniest thing I've ever seen. I will try to find the YouTube clip and I'll put it down below in comments. So try to watch it. You will laugh your ass off. And anything I can do to make you guys laugh, I'm here for. But I mean, it's a movie about stunt people. I feel it's got to get a nomination. It just won't win. So I've got that coming in at number 3. My 4th choice is Gladiator 2. I will say I was entertained by that movie. I know I haven't given you guys the review I promised you. Maybe I'll still make it. It was entertaining in my opinion. Not the greatest, but entertaining, right? You can't deny the stunts and the things that went on in this film. As much as people, may have disliked it, the stunts in it deserve a nomination. And this category wasn't even created until 2007, so Gladiator 1 didn't even have a chance to be in this category. So it's going to get a nomination. 5th choice is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. A lot of people out there will disagree with me that this one will get the nomination. Some people have it kind of on their bubble. I've got it getting in, and I think that's because when the SAG voters look at this and they see what happened to Furiosa in the Oscar shortlist, meaning it got snubbed everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Costume, makeup, visual effects, sound, everything. They're going to be like, really? You should have given them at least put on a short list for one, if not multiple of those categories. And Furiosa, all of the Mad Maxes actually, the stunts are phenomenal. It deserves a nomination. And I will say, I have no problem putting this one above Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think is what kind of a lot of people are putting in as their number 5. I've got it on the bubble at my number 6. And then number 7 is Alien Romulus, just because everywhere you go, especially on the Oscar shortlist, you keep hearing Alien Romulus, which is kind of crazy to me. And I get it. It had its stunts. It definitely has its visual effects, but I just don't think it's going to get the SAG nomination. And then rolling in at number 8, I have Hitman. I know a lot of people have this higher on their list. It did have stunts. I just think when you compare it to a movie like The Fall Guy, and to me, those are kind of in the similar genre category, The Fall Guy is just loads above it. So that's where I'm standing for stunts. I really will have to stand by Wicked because of everything that they had to do in that film. The fact that she flew on that broom is insane to me, and right there is exactly how stunts work. Add that onto the Jonathan Bailey clock dancing scene here. How do you deny that they have an amazing stunt coordinator? You can't. So just give it up, give them the win, and let's move on. If you give Wicked Stunt Ensemble, what do you do when it comes to outstanding performance by a cast ensemble in a motion picture, right? Okay, well, here's my list of 8. No big surprise, I'm sure, to anybody here who's watched my videos that I have Wicked winning this. And people will be like, dude, you're going to be wrong because, it's SAG. Well, I did take that into account. Actually, I looked at the entire history of, well, not the entire history. I only went back to 2020 because I only have so much time in a day. But if you look back here at 2020 and you look at the Critics' Choice winners in Cast Ensemble, and then you look at who won Best Picture in the Oscars, 3 of the 5 years, Critics' Choice and SAG don't line up at all. Okay, well then where does that land, right? Is Critics' Choice closer to the Oscars or is SAG closer to the Oscars? Drum roll, please. SAG. Whoever SAG picks for Best Cast Ensemble usually ends up winning Best Picture for the Oscars. You know how many of the Critics' Choice Ensemble ones got Best Picture? 1. And that was Oppenheimer. Obviously, Critics' Choice voting body is different than the Screen Actors Guild Award. And that's why I had to take that into consideration. And so for me, I do have to put Wicked winning. There are smaller film festivals and associations that do give out ensemble awards, but when it comes to what you might call the quote-unquote big-time awards, there's only really 3. There's the Astras, the Critics' Choice, and then obviously Screen Actors Guild that we're talking about now. Okay, well, so the Astros are the only ones that have had their nominations and their ceremony. So where did that land? And that was something I did take into consideration, right? Like what has already been nominated and won. So the Astros nominated Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Gladiator 2, Saturday Night, and Wicked. And which one of those won? Saturday Night. Right? Like, crazy. Probably for those of you who are not cinephiles are like, dude, I haven't heard about that movie since like maybe it first came out and then it kind of dropped off the radar. Yes, it did. But that's why I am putting it on my list to get a nomination here for SAG Ensemble. If Saturday Night doesn't get Cast Ensemble at the SAG Awards, it's dead. I mean, deader than dead. Yes, I know we've said that Saturday Night was dead before, but it was CPR'd, revived back to life when Gabriel LaBelle got nominated for Best Actor in a Lead Role, Musical or Comedy at the Golden Globes. I mean, obviously he had no chance of winning, but the fact that he got a nomination, kind of made it keep living. But if it doesn't get in here, it doesn't get a nomination, it's going to be dead in the water. So yes, it won the Astros, but what does that mean? Compare the Critics' Choice nominations to the Astros. You've got two differences, right? You've got Enora being nominated in Critics' Choice. You have Conclave being on both lists, which does not surprise me because, again, I'm going to say, watch that film. It's going to be on my top 10 list of 2024. Just don't know where I'm going to place it. But, I mean, when you think about the definition of this category in an ensemble, think about who you have in that cast, right? You got Ray Fiennes, you got Isabella Rossellini, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow. I mean, come on, guys. All Oscar nominated and or winners in this one film. So, okay. They leave off Dune 2. They leave off Gladiator 2. And then they add in Sing Sing, which, by the way, just like Saturday Night, Sing Sing needs a nomination in the ensemble category to stay alive. It's also going to need some acting nominations in order to stay alive, but we're not to the acting ones yet. Sing Sing, I haven't seen it yet, but everybody says it's a great film if you can just get people to watch it. Unfortunately, A24 did not do a great job releasing that. They almost are as bad as Bleecker Street with Hard Truths. So, yeah, not so great on their part. And then the other crossover is Saturday Night and Wicked. So who's going to win the Critics' Choice? Well, I think I know who I'm going to pick. Still a little up in the air, but I'll let you guys know soon. When you look at the past on how Critics' Choice and SAG and Oscars go when it comes to ensemble, Best Picture, and then we look at who's already been nominated and won, I think my list is pretty solid, right? I mean, I definitely believe that Wicked is going to win. Conclave, though, to me, is its real competition. And just for the reasons I said. I mean, their cast is phenomenal. Wicked's cast is also phenomenal. I mean, it's one of the three reasons why I think Wicked still could win Best Picture. I know that it's coming off of its high and losing its popularity, and now The Brutalist is kind of coming back up, but I have to think that somewhere out there the Academy wants to honor a musical for Best Picture, and I believe Wicked Part 1 is its best opportunity. And don't give me this crap about waiting till the sequel, because I'm so over that waiting for the sequel bullshit. So, yeah. Conclave, though, however, I wouldn't be bummed out if that one ended up beating Wicked. Yeah, I mean, at number 3, I don't think you can deny that Amelia Perez has a very solid ensemble. I mean, all 3 of their actresses are on BAFTA long list. All 3 of the actresses got Golden Globe nominations. One of them won. I mean, they also won song, so there's just a lot of, movement for that movie. It won Golden Globes Best Picture, Comedy, or Musical. Because the awards are actually so far away, the winner of the ensemble could definitely change if Amelia Perez keeps riding this high and keeps kind of winning. I mean, these next few days, we've got a lot of big things coming up. At number 4 and 5, I've got Saturday Night at number 4. I've got Sing Sing at number 5. Those films have to make it into nominations to stay alive, and I think they have a good chance, especially when you look at the SAG voting body. The films themselves, they're very good when people watch them. Everybody has said it. I have watched Saturday Night. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, I'm not going to say it was like great Best Picture material, but do I think that the ensemble worked well together? Absolutely. So does that deserve them a nomination? Yeah. Maybe there is only room for one of them to get a nomination. And if that should be so, I can totally see my number 6 sliding in there. I mean, A Complete Unknown, it's a, music bio about Bob Dylan. So one, who doesn't like that? You've got Timothy Chalamet, you've got Edward Norton, you've got Elle Fanning, you've got Monica Barbaro. I mean, it is a good ensemble. So I guess if they're going to lose out to somebody, I would think it should be that one. But it's Timothée Chalamet fighting with himself, because at number 7, I've got Dune Part 2. And I mean, how do you go wrong with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya, who almost for up until I would say September, Zendaya was talked about for getting the Best Actress in a Leading Role Oscar nomination for Challengers, which she is great in, but now that's kind of died off. Yet is her now engagement to Tom Holland going to get her back in the news, and people are going to start talking about her again and being like, oh, Dune 2 had a great ensemble. I don't know. I don't think so, but we're just going to, leave that in at number 7. And then number 8, I have Anora. I don't really see the cast of Anora as standing out. Another reason, though, guys, why I did put Dune Part 2 at number 7 and not kind of higher on my list is because if they thought that the cast was so great, why didn't they put them in this category in 2022? They weren't nominated in cast ensemble. They only got the stunt ensemble. So that's another reason why I just don't think they're getting in, and I actually don't have them like on that bubble. Some of you out there might be like, Lisa, you're letting your love for Wicked like cloud your judgment. I don't think I am. I think I did like proper analysis and broke it down, and I think given that this is SAG and not Critics' Choice, I believe I am right on the money. So to me, it's going to take a lot for me to change these. I'm going to lock down Stunt Ensemble. I do not see my mind changing for that. Like, that is going to be my lockdown SAG prediction for the February 23rd ceremony. Cast Ensemble, I mean, I probably have to give it a little more thought, but at this point, I think I'm like 90% sure that bad boy is staying at number 1. So we'll see. As I make more videos, if my rankings change, I'll definitely let you know, because these are my 8 for now. Okay, let's move into actor in a supporting role category. This was one of those 3 that I think are going to run the entire award season and make a sweep. So as you can see, I've got Kieran Culkin at number 1. He's won almost all the awards thus far. He just won the Golden Globe on Sunday. I don't really think there's anyone beating him. I did think at the Globes that it would be Yuri Borsovo that might beat him. Now looking at things, looking at the BAFTA long list, even though all 8 of these actors, you guys, are on the BAFTA long list. That right there is insane when you think about it. So crazy thought there, but does that really make a difference? When I did my Globe last minute predictions, I did have Yuri Borsovo being at number 2. And as you can see, like, I've now got Guy Pearce being the one that I think might be Culkin's competition, even though to me it's like Culkin's near like finishing the lap as people are like just getting started. So it's still a long, award season left, but Oscar nominations do come out January 17th. All 8 of these gentlemen did make BAFTA's long list, if that kind of helps with your guys' decision. But yep, at number 2, I've got Guy Pearce. And then at number 3, I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that because it got snubbed in the Oscars, just like SAG is going to put Furioso in as a nomination, are they so upset that like the Golden Globes snubbed Clarence Macklin that they're going to put him in here? I believe they will, and I believe that somewhere in the SAG voters' minds, they want to keep Sing Sing alive. So this is going to be their way of doing it. I don't think he's going to win. I mean, granted, he did beat Culkin before, but not that often. I mean, like we said, he didn't even get the nomination for the Globe. Then at number 4, I have Edward Norton because, well, he's Edward Norton and it's a complete unknown. Like I've said, I did originally pick A Complete Unknown to win the Golden Globe Best Picture Drama because all the early screenings and then when it was released on Christmas Day, it's getting a ton of good buzz, talked about. It's good with, the average day viewer. It's good with critics. It's good with film Twitter, which we all know how I feel about film Twitter. So I think that Norton's getting in, and then I think SAG will never deny Denzel a nomination. I mean, come on. It's Denzel. Like, hello? I mean, and by the way, when I did go to Gladiator 2, of all of the things I picked, I only, honestly, and I have it written down because I didn't do the review yet, but I only had them being nominated for 1 Oscar, and it was for Denzel. So I think he's getting in. And then on the bubble, and I don't even know, honestly, that number 6. So yeah, with SAG, if they end up snubbing anyone, I think it would be Macklin. So then Macklin would go out. That would move Norton up to 3, Denzel up to 4, and then I think Stanley Tucci would sneak in there. Even though, I now that I say that, I don't know that Tucci should be on my bubble, because I have to remember that SAG voters are made up of film, television, and radio. So Jeremy Strong and his amazing performance in Succession, which if you guys have not watched Succession, watch it. Binge all of the seasons and then binge them again and again and again. I also think that's part of the reason why Culkin keeps winning so many awards is people loved him in Succession and they love him in A Real Pain, and they kind of merge those two things together. So will that kind of be in the voters' minds when it comes to Jeremy Strong for his role in The Apprentice? I mean, he does a fabulous job playing Ray Cohen. The guy is a great actor. Ugh. So should I move Strong up to 6 and Tucci down to 7? Does it really matter because I feel pretty good about my 5? I mean, at number 8, I got Borsovo. He's just kind of out there. You know what? I'm just going to stay with this. Yep, I'm going to stay with my 5, and then I'm going to say that if anyone sneaks in, it'll be Tucci. Yeah, Yep, I'm going to stay with it, and I'm going to say that if anyone sneaks in, given the voters, even though it's television, Stanley Tucci is an icon. Everybody loves him. I mean, dude, the guy can make a TV show about eating, and people will watch it for hours and hours and hours on end. So, okay, yep, that's my list. That's my lockdown. But I don't even know why I'm arguing with myself about nominations other than I really just want to be right, because as you get to know me on this channel, my number one strength is competition. So I do kind of like to be right, and it just feels good when you can get, a fair amount of nominations right. But Culkin is my lockdown. I told you guys that in my Golden Globes reactions video. He is one of those that to me is just locked down, and he has stayed locked down when it comes to the Oscar. But again, guys, that lockdown doesn't mean that they're necessarily locked down for like the whole award season. I do have to look at like the voting body. I've got one person who to me is locked down for all award season, all the way down. I'm sure some of you can guess it, but I'll tell you about it when we get to them. But Culkin isn't necessarily locked down for me in every single one. I mean, he's probably going to end up being, but yeah, I've got Culkin winning this one. The next category, actress in a supporting role. This one was tough for me. As much as I know, you guys, I have, hashtag Grande Oscar win, because I still do believe that. And that is a lockdown when it comes to the Oscars. I'd end up regretting that with Saldana's win on Sunday, and then God only knows where the rest of the award season goes. I do think that, with these next how many awards, there is kind of going to be a competition in there. So obviously that's why I have Saldana at number 2. But I do see Grande winning this one just because of the voting body. Being made up of the television, film critics, everything like that, it's not so international based. I simply see SAG going for Grande. Again, maybe that is my delusion. I just think when you look at radio, television, film voters, the popularity of Wicked, at least domestically, how do you deny her that win? Unless, of course, they go the sequel route. But there are a lot of people who are like, okay, but Zeldana's been around for 20 plus years, and for once she finally gets to play herself without a costume and a bunch of makeup and things like that on. So do you give her the win because she is good in Amelia Perez? I don't know. I had to go with Grande, then Zeldana. My other nominees though in this category, I do have at number 3 Margaret Qualley, because it's the substance, you guys, and I love the substance, and I just think you can't have the substance without Margaret Qualley. Yes, you could not have had that movie without Demi Moore, but Demi Moore's alter ego Sue, Elizabeth Sparkle's alter ego Sue is Margaret Qualley, and she's great in the film. So you got to put her in there, and I do believe that she rises above Selena Gomez when it comes to Amelia Perez. I am going to put in at number 5 Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson. I am so sick of her being snubbed in everything. I mean, as of now, the only thing she hasn't been snubbed in was Critics' Choice. And I mean, she's not going to win that award, but at least she got the nomination. If you really want to know how I feel about Danielle Deadwyler and the snub that she got for the Golden Globes, see my short video here. Seriously though, then that video was made before the BAFTA long list came out, and she got snubbed on the BAFTA long list. So now I'm even more pissed off and angry. So I just think that this voting body is going to look at these people who have been snubbed, Macklin, Furioso, Danielle Deadwyler, that they're going to put her in here. There's no reason why Danielle Deadwyler should not get this nomination. I mean, I'm not saying that my number 6, 7, 8 aren't great actresses. They are. But to me, Isabella Rossellini, I don't understand what the love is for her role in Conclave. She's good in it, right? And I'm the first one to say, do not judge somebody for the length of time in which they're in a movie. I mean, we've had a lot of great Oscar winners be in a film for a limited amount of time, right? Like, think about Anthony Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs, who was only in it for 16 minutes. But let's be honest, in that 16 minutes, he made a very big impression and he had a ton of dialogue. If you look at Rossellini's role in Conclave, she has very little dialogue. Like, yeah, when she speaks, it's profound, but she speaks so little, I can't understand why she keeps getting all of these nominations. So I've got her on the bubble. I put her at number 6, even though I think that technically she should probably be lower than that. But I think looking at the voting body, they may snub Deadwyler and put Rossellini in. I really hope that doesn't happen because Deadwyler deserves the nomination for The Piano Lesson. I have Anjanou Ellis Taylor for Nickel Boys, which Nickel Boys is completely dead. I, honest to God, don't know how that thing can be re-thrived up other than maybe Ramel Ross wins Best Director for a first feature film when it comes to DGA. And I will try to sneak a video in here in the next couple hours about the DGA nominations. But I don't think Nickel Boy is going to make a resurgence unless maybe there's a nomination in screenplay for the Oscars. But that's going to be the max that I think we see Nickel Boys come out at. And then at number 8, I've got Felicity Jones, The Brutalist. The Brutalist is, on a high, but I don't think that compared to the other supporting actresses, she can rise above number 8. So before I move on to the next category, I almost forgot to say that of my 8 actresses in a supporting role, the only one who was snubbed from the BAFTAs was, of course, Deadwyler. So yeah, if anyone can explain to me why Deadwyler keeps getting snubbed, please put it in comments. I'd love to talk about it and know. I won't even get angry about it because I'm really curious what the heck is going on. Move into actor in a lead role. This was another one of the categories that I said I thought that the actor would sweep the award season, right? And that actor that I said would do that is Adrien Brody. And I do have him winning this one in SAG. I know I've got Timothée Chalamet at number 2, but I don't feel that he is strong competition when it comes to SAG. The only award I could see Chalamet beating Brody in would be Critics' Choice, and I don't even know that he can do that. At number 3, I have Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. Yes, I put him in here for A Different Man, not for The Apprentice. The only Golden Globe win that may impact my future Oscar decision was Sebastian Stan's win for A Different Man. Now, I know I picked him on my last minute predictions video, and I'm super glad he won, but I've got him at number 3 here, but I've got him coming in at A Different Man. So the Golden Globe win did impact my SAG nominations. I don't think I would have put him at number 3 had he not won the Golden Globe. And what's interesting is you can tell the BAFTA long list came out before the Golden Globes because BAFTA has him on there for his role in The Apprentice. Not like Sebastian Stan really is going to care which film he gets nominated for, which is probably why he gave the shout out to The Apprentice in his acceptance speech for A Different Man. But I do think he's getting a nomination. For me, I'm calling it, though, in A Different Man and not in The Apprentice. Then at number 4, I have Ralph Fiennes for Conclave. I think he is pretty much a lockdown for getting nominations in every one of the awards going forward when it comes to actor in a lead role. He's a great actor. He's phenomenal in the movie. The movie's great. So I think he's just going to continue to get nominations. Unfortunately, I just don't see him winning any of those award ceremonies. And then at number 5, this again might be my belief to keep Sing Sing alive, is that Coleman Domingo will get the nomination. I mean, the only nomination that Sing Sing got for the Golden Globes was Coleman Domingo. Granted, he didn't win, but still, at least he got a nomination. I do see SAG giving him the nomination here. At number 6, I have Hugh Grant for Heretic. More people have seen Heretic than I think Heretic was anticipating. I believe they've made something like $27 million already, which is crazy. And he did get a Golden Globe nomination, so I see him being up there. I mean, if they don't put Domingo in, do they end up putting Hugh Grant in? Potentially. That's why he's my number 6. Then at number 7, I have Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain. A lot of people don't even have Eisenberg in their top 8 or 10 when it comes to SAG. I do believe, though, that the Screen Actors body does like to recognize other actors, especially when they go out on a limb and they act and direct like he did in A Real Pain. I just don't think he's going to get the nomination. And then number 8 is the long shot who has actually won awards and been talked about within the critics groups, but hasn't really shown up when it comes to, the big awards ceremonies. Because if you think about it, Golden Globes is really like the first like kickoff into live big time award shows that the general public watches. So that's Daniel Craig for Queer. Again, I think Brody's winning this. Culkin, Brody, I just think they're going to sweep the season. We always have a couple every year where it's just like no matter which one of the award shows you watch or you wake up the next morning, you see the same couple winners. And to me, this year, those are Brody and Culkin. Now going into my actress in a lead role. Okay, guys, here it is. This person is the one person that you can guarantee I have locked down no matter what award ceremony it is, I have them winning. And that is Demi Moore. Yes, love her. I'm actually making a video on Moore's kind of career and her acceptance speech and the impact that I think it has on people. So stay tuned for that. So basically make sure you like and subscribe. But I've got Demi Moore winning the SAG nomination. I think, she also knows how to give a speech. And she knows, like I told you guys last time, speeches are their way of campaigning. And if she can give another phenomenal speech that isn't exactly like the Golden Globe speech, but adds on to it just a little bit more, it's just icing on the cake for her as we roll into the Oscars. And I am so proud of Mumbai, that's the distributor for The Substance, pushing this. They are doing a great job of campaigning for both Coralie Farjat, the director, Margaret Qualley, the supporting actress, and obviously Demi Moore. And you can see that in the BAFTA long list because I want to say, I think they got like 9 BAFTA long list nominations. And they got a lot screwed in the Oscar shortlist. So they got some unbelievable snubs. So here we go. Demi's winning SAG. Looking forward to another great speech. Cannot wait for that ceremony on February 23rd. And reminder, she is nominated for a Critics' Choice Award. So will we see her win on Sunday? Yes, we will. Well, at least that's my prediction anyway. So yep, at number 1, I've got Demi Moore. Yes. Come on, guys. She is my lockdown. No matter what award ceremony it is, I am going to pick her because I believe in her role that much. I think that I'm so tired of people and their bullshit about body horror and we can't honor that and I can't believe people like that movie. Well, you know what? Cool. You don't like it, but this thing is winning. Demi Moore is winning the SAG. Anything she's up for, that is like my one lockdown, every ceremony not going to change. So you know what? If you want to bet against me, you can because you always know who I'm going to pick. I do have a Revo at number 2, and I know some people have Mikey Madison at 2 and a Revo at 3. I just believe that given its SAG and the popularity of Wicked, Revo is going to be at number 2, and then I've got Mikey Madison at number 3. I'm not putting Mikey Madison at number 3 because I don't think that she's great in Anora. I think she plays that role well. I think that Anora is getting crapped upon because it's about a sex worker, and I know we've talked about that, and we're going to talk about it more when I, give my official film review of Anora. But Mikey Madison has a very long career ahead of her. And I'm not saying that you need to give it to Demi because she's been around for 40 years and been acting and never gotten an acting award. That's not my reason. I don't believe in that. I believe that you should give an award for somebody based on that film, not their prior works. Otherwise, just give them one of those special awards, right? Yeah. But to me, when you look at the role Mikey Madison plays in Anora versus Demi Moore's role in The Substance, Moore's role in The Substance is just better. It may surprise some of you that I have Jolie at number 4 or even getting a nomination. Well, maybe it doesn't surprise some of you because of my love for Angelina Jolie, and I think she does amazing work, but that's not the reason I'm putting her at number 4. I'm putting her at number 4 because of her work in Maria. And, when you compare it to the other actresses, I just think that she's better in it. That is not to undermine Carla Sofia Gascon's role in Amelia Perez. I think she's great. I think she's going to get a nomination. Now, whether or not 4 or 5, that's up to you guys. Gascon is getting the nomination. I just don't think that she's going to get the win. There are people, though, who are, I think like 30% of people out there don't even have Jolie getting the nomination. And that is solely because she was snubbed on the BAFTA long list. I do not believe that she was snubbed on the BAFTA long list because of her performance in Maria. I believe she was snubbed on the BAFTA long list because BAFTA hates the director Pablo Larraín. Pablo Larraín has a history of making biopics that are amazing, but not good enough to become Best Picture nominees, but all of the actresses end up getting Oscar nominations. Okay, well, if we look back at that then, did those two actresses also get BAFTA? Because honestly, I think that's why Jolie gets snubbed in the BAFTAs. I believe it had solely to do with the director and nothing to do with her performance in Maria, because she is good in Maria. Haters are going to hate, but stop hating the actress because you hate the director. Did you really dislike her work in Maria that much? Maybe. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who don't like it. Lorraine does a great job making biography pictures about strong, powerful women. I mean, looking at his most recent two films, the films don't get nominated for Best Picture or anything like that, but the actresses who play those lead roles always end up getting Oscar nominations. Kristen Stewart in 2022 for playing Diana in the movie Spencer. And then in 2017, Natalie Portman got the Oscar nomination for playing Jackie Kennedy Onassis in the film Jackie. He obviously knows how to direct very well. When you think about that, people don't want to honor the picture, but they want to honor the actress. So BAFTAs, stop hating on the director. I know haters are going to hate, but hate Pablo Larraín. Don't be hating on Angelina Jolie just because you dislike him and he's the one who directed the movie. But is this a pattern with BAFTA? Like, let's look at how Stewart and Portman did in the BAFTAs in their award season year. So Kristen Stewart in 2022 went on to be nominated for the Oscar, the Golden Globes, and Critics' Choice. She didn't get a SAG nomination, though. So that was a little bit shocking because I definitely see Angelina getting the SAG nomination here. I mean, she did get the Golden Globe nominations. Looking at Natalie Portman, I'll beat you cinephiles to it. I know what you're saying. You're going to be like, wait, little Lisa. She did get nominated for a BAFTA for her role in Jackie. Yes, she did. And she also got nominated for the Oscar. She got nominated for SAG. She got nominated for the Golden Globes. And she got nominated and won the Critics' Choice Award. So, does that mean they don't hate Pablo Larraín that much? No, it still means they hate him. It just means they love Natalie Portman so much. Why they love Natalie Portman that much? Because of her work in Black Swan. She actually won the BAFTA and an Oscar for her work in Black Swan. So that is the one anomaly. I think that if it comes down to it, if you don't have a past kind of BAFTA winning history, you're not going to end up getting on the BAFTA long list, let alone a nomination. Which, you know what? I'm going to look up, because I didn't look that up, if Kristen Stewart made the long list that year for BAFTA. I will look it up, and then I'm going to tweet it out. So make sure that you follow me on Twitter. I know I told you guys I dislike Twitter, but I'm trying to get better at it. So I'll tweet it out once I can do the research and find that out. I can't believe I didn't look that up earlier. Oh my gosh, my bad. So, you know what? The BAFTAs can hate on Jolie all they want. I mean, she has won an Oscar in 2000 for Girl Interrupted. I mean, she won Best Actress in a Supporting Role, which is will snub anyone in a Pablo Larraín film who isn't a previous BAFTA winner, right? Like Natalie Portman. I mean, Jolie has been nominated for BAFTAs before, in 2009 for Changeling and in 2014 for Maleficent. So, you know, she was nominated, but she never won. So I think they're just taking that out on her. I think people need to get over it. I mean, Jolie's history when it comes to Critics' Choice, Golden Globes, Oscars, SAG, it speaks for itself. And I cannot believe that people are letting the BAFTA long list influence them that much to not put her as getting at least a nomination. Tomorrow morning, I could end up having to post with big old egg on my face and a big old foot in my mouth that Jolie doesn't get the nomination. I am going to try to post a video tomorrow afternoon, like after I probably calm down from seeing the nominations at 9:30 tomorrow morning, but I definitely will post my reactions to the SAG nominations. We're also going to have the Directors Guild Association nominations tomorrow. I don't know what time. I'm going to, like I said, try to get this video out and then make a quick one before those get announced tomorrow. Luckily, there's only 2 categories there, and that's Director in a Feature Film and Director in Documentary. We've got a big day tomorrow, guys. We've got SAG nominations at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to watch those, and then I'm going to try to post pretty quickly thereafter my reactions to it, you know, so you guys could come back and be like, hey, everybody else was right about Angelina Jolie and you were wrong, and I can admit when I'm wrong. It doesn't happen often, just so you guys know. And for me to admit it publicly is going to be huge. So fingers crossed I don't have to. And then at 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, so 5 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, they're going to have the DGA announcement. So like I said, I'm going to try to get this video released and then make another one with those predictions for the DGA tomorrow. Luckily, there's only 3 categories, so it should be pretty quick, but excited to see what DGA does. We have got a busy week ahead of us. Besides those 2 big announcements tomorrow, we have Writers Guild Association on Thursday, we've got Producers Guild Association on Friday, and then we've got the Amazing Critics' Choice Ceremony on Sunday. I'm going to be dropping videos like it's hot, guys, so over the next couple days, look for my nominations, my predictions, my reactions, all of it. So like and subscribe, click the bell for notifications. All of the films, all of the categories through my Oscar-obsessed ADHD point of view. Thanks for joining, and until next time.